So, let's kick things off with a title that sounds, well, pretty philosophical, right? Sometimes you have to cut away the beautiful to see the sky. And that's exactly the point. It's an idea that feels a little strange at first, doesn't it? The thought that you'd need to get rid of something beautiful.
And this whole idea, this whole story we're about to unpack, it all comes down to a grape arbor. Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's a small story with a surprisingly huge message about the things we choose to hold on to in our own lives.
Okay, so picture this. Right in front of a house, there's this absolutely gorgeous grape arbor. It's lush, it's green, it gives this perfect cool shade. I mean, from the outside, it's the postcard image of a peaceful home.
And it wasn't just the people living there who thought it was amazing. No, anyone who walked by would stop and stare. They'd point and say, "Wow, look at that." It was the feature of the house, the one thing everybody noticed and complimented. On the surface, it was just perfect.
But you know how it is. That perfect view from the street, it wasn't the whole story. Not even close. The people who actually lived there, the ones under that shade day in and day out, they knew something else. They knew there was a price to pay for all that beauty. See, living under that constant heavy shade had all these hidden costs. For one, the yard was always damp, and that dampness meant moss started growing all over the bricks, making them super slippery. It also turned into a paradise for insects. And then, things got worse. They even started finding snakes coiled up in the leaves. Not so idyllic anymore, huh? And the problems weren't just about creepy crawlies. They were also, well, mental. It was just so easy, so comfortable to sit there in the cool shade. And that comfort, that ease, it started to create this kind of laziness, a feeling of why bother going anywhere else? It made them reluctant to leave their little sheltered bubble.
So you have this massive gap, right, between what everyone saw and what was actually happening. The appearance, beautiful, cool shade that everyone admired, a place of total comfort. The reality, a dark, damp, and dangerous space that was secretly home to pests and was just sucking the energy right out of them.
Clearly, something had to change. They couldn't go on like this. So the family had to face this thing in their yard, this beautiful, damaging thing. And they made a decision. A really, really tough one.
And once the decision was made, they didn't hesitate. They acted. They literally took out a saw and went right for the one thing everyone else loved about their house. The very thing that had defined the place for years. And the effect was instant. Just like that, the arbor was gone. The shade, the comfort, all of it. Poof. But in its place was something else entirely. Something vast and bright. The sky. All of a sudden, the world in front of their house felt wide open, full of sun, and just so much bigger than before.
Okay, so on the one hand, this is just a story about some pretty extreme yard work, right? But what are we really talking about here? What's the deeper meaning?
Because, of course, this was never really about a grape arbor. It's actually a powerful metaphor for life.
And this is the heart of it, right here. We all have these things in our lives. Things that are beautiful, comfortable, familiar. Maybe other people even admire them. But sometimes, those exact same things are what's blocking our view, what's keeping us from seeing the big open sky.
So let's call it the grape arbor metaphor. What is it? Well, it's anything in your life that looks good on the outside, like a comfortable job that pays the bills, but you're not growing anymore. Or maybe a stable relationship that's just okay, but it's stopping you from being who you really are. It gives you comfort, sure, but it might also be hiding some real problems and, most importantly, limiting your entire perspective on what's possible for you.
So, to wrap this up, let's turn this question around and point it right back at you. Think for a second about your own life, your job, your habits, your comforts. It's a tough question, I know, but it's a really important one. What's your grape arbor? What beautiful, comfortable thing in your life might actually be blocking your view of the sky?